This is a very important and delicate procedure that can only be carried out with the right tool. How's it going? Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a tech video or just a fun video on putting front brakes on a 1971 air-cooled Volkswagen bus. It's a pretty cool little vehicle. The guy just decided one day he wanted to own a bus and never driven a stick before or anything like that, and we've been helping him along. So stick around, hope you like it. Alright, so already ran into my first problem. Where I lifted up the vehicle, this thing has a little bit of a larger tire than it would have came from the factory, and so the opening between the brake drum and the body won't come out. I'll demonstrate. So it's stuck there, and the problem is, so since I jacked the vehicle up by the shock right here, it actually compressed the suspension. So what I need to do is I need to adjust. This applies also if you are at home and you jack it up this way. So I have to just make some adjustments. So I had to wait for the air compressor to finish filling up before I kept going. So as you saw, it took me a few tries to get everything right. It's really critical to make sure everything's kind of straight and going up and down, and even though yes, we're on a lift, yes, it's a little bit easier, but that doesn't mean that I am any less safe than I would be anywhere else. Also, a lot of people, I was a mechanic for a long time, and a lot of people don't see the background stuff of most mechanics get paid per job. The brake job pays 2 hours. It doesn't matter if it takes you an hour to get the thing on the lift or whatever's available. Say you work in a shop that has only a couple lifts. You can either do it on the ground or you can try and do it on this. So it's taken me a half hour just to get this thing on the lift. So some of that time gets absorbed into the job, some of it doesn't. It's just something to think about. Anyways, so I wanted to make sure that everything was safe. So even though this looks a little bit sketchy, everything is straight up and down and working the way it should. So, like I said before, this is going to be a little bit of a tech video. So if you don't know how to get the wheels and tires off your car, you're going to have to call somebody else, because I'm not going to do that video. I might do a spare tire video just because, and I might make my kids do it just to show you that they know how to change a tire. Anyways, so on a specifically 71 Volkswagen bus, here we have the brake drum. It actually looks pretty new. It's not real rusty or anything like that. You have to take off these two screws, which are 11mm heads, and then we proceed to kind of, it's not going to fall right off. I have a procedure for getting that off, and I'll show it to you right now. This is a very important and delicate procedure that can only be carried out with the right tool. So that was pretty well stuck on there. I'm sweating a little bit, and I'm sort of regretting not having my ear protection. I'm usually really big on safety, and I forgot it at home. But sometimes the job's got to get done. So I can see inside of this drum that the brakes aren't really applying very well. They're just sort of skidding along. So we're gonna see what's going on there, and hopefully we can take care of it for our customer. Okay, before I take anything apart, and this is where we get a little bit, it's not super technical, but I want to make sure that my parts are correct and that I have everything. Specifically on this day, I'm obviously not at home, I'm at my friend's shop. He's on vacation, so he let me use it. I drove this vehicle here, so I need to drive it home. I also need to figure out how to get some parts if I don't have it. These are things you need to think about if you're mobile or just doing side jobs or helping friends out. So I'm gonna go grab some of the parts and make sure they line up and match up, then we'll start tearing into it. So we got a new brake caliper. The important thing to think about, these were really hard to get. They're made of what we like to call in the business unobtainium. I had to order them and wait a week, and then they didn't show up and waited another week. So when you're putting a caliper on, you just have to make sure that the bleeder is on top. The rest of it, well, and that it fits. I mean, but hopefully you got the right one, but you just don't want to get them on left to right, and then when you go to bleed them out, the bleeder's on the bottom. Then the air won't be able to escape from the top because gravity. If you don't understand gravity, you're gonna have to watch another YouTube video about that. Make sure you're checking on the parts before you go ahead and open things up, like I was saying before. Specifically, this is our brake hose. Got to make sure this is like a female end, and this is also a female end. So let's just double check our line that's there, and that looks right. Hold it up there. The length is pretty close. A lot of the parts stores don't like it when you bring back stuff that's been opened. I'm giving out a lot of good information here. So when you're working with brake lines, you want to make sure and use a line wrench. Line wrench actually goes all the way around the brake line as opposed to the one end that just goes around it. Go down to your local parts store, buy one for $10. It's going to save you a lot of heartache when you're doing a job like this. Or call me. Alright, so I got this side all kind of back together. I ran into some issues with the hardware where the bolt that bolts on the back, let's see if it'll focus, right there, they were a little bit different. So I had to go get some new hardware. Everything else kind of went back together, but this thing's been kind of whipping me a little bit. It's hot, having some hardware problems, but we're just gonna keep carrying on, so stick with me. So the issue I've been having is that the factory hardware won't fit into these remanufactured calipers. It's just the shoulder bolt is just a tiny bit smaller than it should have been, which means that maybe, and this is the original factory hardware, but it's just not working. So I had to take a drill bit and just kind of hog this out a little bit just to make it fit, and now I have to do it on this one. So I just found a drill bit. Ow. It's just a little bit undersized, so I just gotta massage that through there. Other than that, I'd have to go to the hardware store and try and find something that's maybe less than satisfactory. So we're just gonna go with this for now. Well, here I am 6 hours later, still working on this bus. I'm dirty, I'm tired, I'm sweaty. I gotta figure out another way home because it's just supposed to be a brake job and get it together and head out. Ran into some problems with things I didn't know, and I have this saying that you don't know things until you find out you don't know them. So the thing that I didn't know was that the left side brake the left side brake hose in the rear was different than the other one. So originally I had all the parts together. One was missing a hose. I ordered the hoses, got them delivered. Real lucky to have people close by that'll help me out. Local parts store I've had an account with for years. And then I got them here. I start taking it apart, and I was wrong about the part. So I had to wait around again to get that coming. And now I get everything together, and the thing just won't bleed. It won't put out any fluid from anywhere. I got new calipers and new hoses in the rear, and it's just kind of stuck. I also found out that the brake reservoir is just in the wrong place. It's just being a difficult vehicle. And so we're just gonna wrap it up for today, and sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and think about it for a minute and figure out a new way around. I have some tools at home that I might be able to help out, bleed the brakes, and then we're all good again. But right now I gotta figure out a new way home and on to the next thing tomorrow. So thanks for sticking with me. I'll throw up an update after this. It's jobs like this that I'm real passionate about getting this stuff fixed, and helping people out. And this is tough. There's no doubt about it. You just have to move forward and think about why you're doing it. I'm doing it to help this guy out. I'm doing it to expand my knowledge and learn things and try and be a better person and be a better mechanic and things like that. So I appreciate you checking it out. This will probably be a part 1, so stick around for part 2. Thanks. It stops. It's been quite an adventure. I had to call in some backup support to help me come in and bleed the brakes, and the car still wasn't happy, so it just took a lot of work to get the brakes done. But now the actual brakes work, but the power assist is still a little bit of trouble. But I would say that it's about 100 times better than it was, because from what I'm seeing and from what we changed, it only had one brake working, basically the left rear. So I'm on my way to deliver it, and probably won't be the last time I see this rig. But I hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to keep on rolling. So stick around.